I love manualing my bike. Sometimes it really smooths out the trail, sometimes it's faster, but sometimes I do it just for the enjoyment. So let's look at how you can use a manual for some serious fun. Serious fun? Does that make sense?
Okay, so let's try and add a bit of a turn to the manual. Now in this situation, I found a corner that's got a roller in it, so I can use that to help me pick up the front wheel. Now really, you've got to be good at manuals before you try this, so you're really comfortable with getting that front wheel up in the air, but also using your back brake to stop it, because you're going to need that eventually. So this really is a case of using your manual technique, but getting your weight off the inside of the bike at the same time, and that really muscles the bike around. You've got to make sure there's a really nice clear run out as well, and eventually you can start picking up the front wheel before the roller and even use that for what I call a pump jump. So the front wheel's up in the air when you hit that roller and you can actually jump off the top of it. The key to getting this nailed is getting your weight off the inside of the bike to get that bike cornering, but make sure you don't lose your balance. So get that bike back underneath you as soon as you can and land on top of the bike. Right, now let's take it to the pump track. Hopefully you can find yourself a set of rollers and really try and keep the front wheel up between the rollers. In this situation, I try and keep the front wheel relatively low for a manual, and then in the middle of the rollers, I'm pumping down with my legs, and that really gets the bike steep. But as the back wheel comes up over the next roller, it will level out again. The key to keeping the front wheel up for a long time is really pumping hard with the legs. If I don't get enough, I'll drop the front wheel down. But really, this is quite a safe thing to practice, to be honest. I've never looped out doing this, but just make sure you're covering the back brake and using your legs to extend the bike. Now I'm doing this on a full suspension bike, but I've locked out that rear suspension as much as I can because that makes it a bit easier. If you've got a big suspension bike, really your balance point is moving around all the time. So this is easier on a locked out bike or on a hardtail. Right, now to take it to the next level, let's try and land into a manual, and you can do this off drops if they're small enough, so it's got to be quite a smooth landing, or even off jumps, but then you're getting really close to looping out. You've also got to be careful as to when you bring the front wheel down. You don't want to drop it off the back of a drop off or over the top of a jump, because then you're going to get kicked really badly. With a drop off, I'm rolling off it quite far to the back of the bike, so that as the rear wheel drops off it, I'm already in a manual, but just a little one, and I extend my legs down so the rear wheel meets the ground and I'm then into that balance point. Now to land a jump in a manual. Things can get pretty sketchy here because your bike is going to be landing potentially into quite a steep landing, so you've got to be super careful. And really, again, make sure you're on that back brake. In this situation, I've actually held the manual long enough so I actually start doing that bump jump on the next tabletop. But get ready, because if you haven't got the weight in the right spot, you can get a massive kick on that rear tyre and it can send you up and over the bars. Now this is just a few examples of where you can use a manual for a bit of extra fun. If you want some more inspiration, check out Win Masters on Instagram. He's the king of doing this.
There you go, get practicing, it's loads of fun. Just make sure you don't loop out, because that's going to lead to a very sore arse at the very least. If you want to see another cool video with Blake hitting some gaps in Whistler, click down there for that one. And for the original how to manual, click up there if you're not quite at this stage yet. Give us a thumbs up if you've ever looped out and you love doing manuals. Hit that sub button.